Always Irish Joe. That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks, to a Notre Dame versus Pitt. It may as well be the Super Bowl for Notre Dame. This should be the last big test. I don't think you're going to lose to Syracuse and Stanford. You got to get this one edition of the Always Irish Show. As always, thanks for being here. You can find a program on YouTube. Do it, subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Yanni out as well. Notifications on that way you can ensure you don't miss nothing. Twitter, search bar Always Irish, Always Irish Inc. If you want to watch all the Notre Dame people reacting to everybody crapping on Notre Dame, crying about the playoff. It's amazing looking at people losing their absolute minds over Notre Dame. It's all happening on Twitter, folks. Emails always irishmd@gmail.com. Audio only, anywhere you want it, you can get it. If you don't want to see my face, go to audio only. Notre Dame on SI, read all about it. Patreon.com/always Irish. All-star team breaking it all down. Link in the description. Join us for the final ramp up, hopefully, to the playoff. Hopefully, if Notre Dame takes care of business. So let's get into this. This is it. We're getting down to the home stretch. All of Notre Dame Nation, you can see the light at the end of that 10-2 playoff tunnel from right here. You can see it. You cannot get distracted. You have 3 games you got to win, and this Pitt one should be the toughest one remaining. But you can feel, you can see that light of that 10-2 there. You're almost there. You can't trip up now. I need this team to be more focused than we are battling trolls on Twitter. Laser focused on winning this football game at Pitt. So it's really, really simple. This is the toughest remaining game on Notre Dame's schedule with 3 left. Win or the season will be a failure. Like, there's no gray area whatsoever. Win or the season's a failure. Like, it's plain as day. That's what's on the line. So here we are. Nard Dog versus Notre Dame. Playoff on the line. Game day there. Now let's get into this right now. I don't know what kind of games Narduzzi's playing, but I'm not buying it. I think he's doing a Lou Holtz up there in his presser, giving Notre Dame, America's team, giving Notre Dame all this credit. It's not a must win. We don't need to win it. We can lose it. No big deal. As long as we win the ACC, we're fine. Whatever. I ain't falling for it. He's pulling the Lou Holtz, telling the public, there's no way we could beat that team or whatever, and then going in his locker room and saying, guys, we're going to beat these, bleep, bleep. I'm not falling for it. I'm not falling for it. So the Nard Dog he's playing some games here in the media, throwing all the love on the opponent. It's a classic Lou Holtz tactic, you guys. Telling the public all that, and behind the scenes, we're gonna kick crap out of these guys. So I'm not falling for the act. He's pulling a Lou. I've seen it before, and he won't be the last one to do it. So that was interesting because that guy hates Notre Dame. He hates Notre Dame. He's playing games. Okay? So the last I checked, Notre Dame was what? An 11.5-point favorite. If you really think about it, that tells you on a neutral field, Notre Dame's about a 2-touchdown favorite if you figure you get 3 points for being a home team. Okay? So enter the game with confidence, but also with respect for your opponent. I think that is a fair way to approach this dynamic. But let's be very clear about this. Notre Dame should win this football game, period. Notre Dame should win this football game. You're trending up. You got good vibes with the Navy performance. Notre Dame should win this football game. Here's the other thing I was thinking about. I really don't mind the noon start. Okay? I've heard the argument with the night game. Everybody's more fired up, including Notre Dame, even though it's on the road. And playing at Pitt on the road at night is not like going to LSU, or although Kelly killed those vibes, it's not like playing at LSU at night or Penn State at night or Texas A&M. it isn't that. If you played Pitt at the place isn't big enough to allow that, right? But like, here's my thought. Having it at noon, 11 my time, it doesn't give their annoying loudmouth fans 10 hours to drink and whatever else. So I do like that. But here's the other thing. I've heard the argument of like, what if Notre Dame's sleepwalking because it's a 12 o'clock start or whatever? There is no chance that Notre Dame sleepwalks into this situation knowing damn well what's on the line and that this is the last toughest, biggest test left on the schedule. There's no chance. Pitt's going to be ready. So is Notre Dame. There's no chance. It's like, oh, we're sleepy and look disinterested on the road. No. This Notre Dame team, everybody to a man on the staff and the players, they know what's on the line. I have no fear of them sleepwalking, so I don't mind 11 o'clock my time at all. Let's get it going. Let's get it going early. So I don't mind that at all. So let's get into this. How is Pitt going to choose to defend Notre Dame? Pitt's DNA, man, they're going to try and stop the run. They're going to try and stop the run. And Goolsby brought up a really, really good point. Does Pitt feel like they have the talent that they could stop Notre Dame's run game without allocating more resources to the line of scrimmage than they really want to, which would expose them on the back end? That's an interesting dynamic. If they feel like they could just have a regular front and hold up against Notre Dame's run and not have to crash more guys at the line, that could be a problem for Notre Dame. If you're not able to run it then and you're not getting a bunch of one-on-one mismatches on the outside because they got guys back there, that could be an issue. You would like to think if you go ahead and sell out, stop the run, Carr's going to burn you over the top. What is Pitt, 101st in pass defense? There's some exposure there to be had. So if you're going to stack the box, stop the run, Carr could beat you over the top. If you drop back a little bit in coverage, try and slow down Carr a little bit, Price and Love are going to gash you. It's your choice, man. It's your choice. And so you're going to need Notre Dame's offensive line to play well. They've been doing good in pass pro. Be a little more effective in the run game. Give these guys some space. So Pitt's DNA is to stop the run first. And if you're under the first at passing defense, I mean, is that one of those things where you just kind of concede it, play man, and just hope for the best because you're bad at it anyways? Stuff the run? I don't know. But that's going to be an interesting dynamic. You would like to think Notre Dame could beat you either way you go. Flip this over to where I think the key of the game is. Notre Dame's defense against Mason Eichel, the young Pitt quarterback. Keep in mind, this is a very different I think he's a freshman. He's 18 years old. This is a very different situation than the one with CJ Carr. This guy didn't go through August, have a battle, win it in camp, and have 10 games as the starter and build everything around him. They made the change after their second loss, the second one to Louisville, I believe, and they haven't lost a game since. So that's when they made their quarterback switch after that second loss. By the way, in both losses, I'm going to mention it again, in both their losses, they were winning by double digits late in the game in both. So then they switch quarterbacks, and they haven't lost. I think they've won 5 games in a row. They're trending up. They haven't lost since. He's feeling himself a little bit. 12 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 64% completion percentage. Here's the other thing. 49 rush attempts in 5 games. That averages out to like 9.5, 9 point something per game. So almost 10 times a game the guy takes off. And I don't know how you judge quarterback rushes or whatever, but he's averaging under 3 yards a carry with those 10 per game. But 10 seems like a lot. That's 5 per half. Notre Dame's got to have some eyeballs on that guy and not let him run around and catch a first down or whatever else. So here's where I think this gets interesting. This young 18-year-old kid has faced BC, Florida State, Syracuse, NC State, and Stanford. I hope he comes in the game feeling overconfident and lets some balls fly that are no problem against those defenses, but they will be against Notre Dame. You got to make this freshman pay. I like the idea that he's got a lot of momentum and they're feeling good about him and all this stuff. I like that. You got to get in this freshman's head, make him feel comfortable and confident. None of those defenses I mentioned are close to Notre Dame, even if you have worries about some parts of the Notre Dame defense. None of those teams' defenses should be close to what Notre Dame's going to present this guy. Pressure him, confuse him, bait him. You cannot let an 18-year-old freshman quarterback that wasn't even the starter at the beginning of the year end your playoff run. Are you outside your mind? If you let this kid run wild on you and throw wild at you and all that, you're not a playoff team anyway. So get out of the bracket, make room for a serious program. I'm sorry. It's that cut and dry. You cannot let this kid, he is their engine that drives everything. I know they got a few receivers that they like to flash, whatever. This 18-year-old freshman quarterback is the engine that's made this 5-game winning streak even a thing. So if that kid's going to beat you, Notre Dame's not a playoff team anyways. Get the hell out of the bracket. And then everybody else was proven right that's ripping us on the internet, and you let a conference team have Notre Dame's spot, and maybe you could go in the Cheez-Its Bowl against LSU or something. I don't know. So that's where I'm at on this, man. Like, there's two big keys to this. How Narduzzi's going to try and defend Notre Dame. And if you sell out on the run, Carr could throw it. If you sit back, Notre Dame could run it. The only problem is going to be, like Goolsby said, if they could defend the run pretty well without bringing more people down to the line of scrimmage, that's an issue. Notre Dame's got to win that battle. And then how Notre Dame handles this kid. I like that he's confident. I love that he's confident. Throw some balls into some windows that you could throw against Stanford, throw against Florida State or whatever, and BC. It ain't going to be there against Notre Dame. It ain't going to be there. Here's an interesting thing. In the summer, there were these computer models, and they run the season 1,000 times on their computer model. I ain't smart enough to know what goes into that. And I remember making a big deal of this in August. They spit out that they projected Notre Dame's defense to allow an average of 14.5 points per game throughout the year. Obviously, Notre Dame got off to a rough start defensively in the first 2 ball games. If you take those 2 games out, when Notre Dame figured out who they could play and how they needed to play with Ash and everything, they're giving up 14.5 points per game, 14.4 actually. So I just think that's really interesting that for the part of the season where Notre Dame figured out what they were going to do and who they were going to run with, it's been right at that number, 14.4. Give me that number against these guys. That's a winning effort. Notre Dame coming off a game with no penalties, no turnovers. They made all their kicks. You had fun in the snow. The backups got to play. You got all this momentum heading into Pitt with everything on the line. Let's be very, very clear. There's a lot of people with a lot of interest in this game, and almost all of them are tuning in to see Notre Dame get beat and open up that playoff spot. Not so fast, my friend. This is Notre Dame's game to lose. And if you do, you don't belong in the playoffs. Season's a total failure, and that's it. You're going to play Syracuse and Stanford, but who cares, quite frankly. I'm sorry. That's the level this is at. Get in the playoff or you're a failure. It's that simple. And that's a compliment to the level this program's at. Get in or it's a failure. That's the level. So this is a big one. You got to have it. Go get it.